他是想调侃人的一个人呢。啊，
西瓜有谁啊？
我妈给我拿铁，嗯，
Mine is the orange. I'm deciding.
你是
Mine is the
最
same.
是
The person is the same.
妈呀！
给他留点脸面子。
Yeah, everyone does that. Like my mom, like me and my brother both had me, and like everyone all had
还
y'all.
有很喜欢调侃人的那个。
Yeah, you know him. Oh, okay. I remember seriously. Oh wait. So what's Yolanda? Where's Yolanda?
没有人会调侃。
What's her name? 中文名字。
全是神啊！
有这个会调侃吗？
刷过来。行，我这样给他这么调侃，比他小个几分钟。
小个几分钟。
张馨月，哦，对。没知道，没知道，我不知道。I don't can't tell you how to say mysterious.
当我是眼瞎还是当我是傻？
No, it's not. In Paris, Mickey. In Paris? No. Oh,
Okay, so all the panelists,
全是点人吗？
so the light here, everything. So this camera is like, you're sitting close to this, every single whisper, everyone can hear. It's a streamline in YouTube right now. Okay, all the sitting panelists, can you please sit down? We have a most of students here. Yeah, we also live, we have about 20 plus students here. Please, everyone, you need to ask some questions. Make sure that you try to learn something from them. King, to make sure all the speakers working, right?
Right.
Please. Right. Based on your name, watch out your name. Yeah, sitting under your name. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yay.
Yay!
Yay.
Wait, now, you know the potion wait, yeah, the professor.
DMU.
Carnegie. Yeah. Wait, I forgot, wait, coach said, like, yeah,
这样真的
is he like your professor?
让他见过发傻，他给我发个宝，他们再给我发个宝贝兄弟，昨天晚上给发了个视频，我哭了
But。you can six
Oh, I
seven
didn't-
together.
Yeah, do something else, but I don't know how to do this with students, except.
来分享这球球大作战。
Okay, again, we still hear a lot of whisper among the YouTube. Can everybody 100% absolutely silent while they talking, okay? Because, okay, hold on. I get you. And recording start. So everyone put your phone down. So they give out the time. And really don't use the phone, okay? And you're going to help me to take some photos. Okay, okay, let's start. King.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our college live panel. Tonight, we're joined by students, guests from different colleges and different class years to share their experiences, challenges, and advice. Let's get started by having each of our guests introducing themselves. Guys, please tell us your name, school, year, major, and one word to describe about college so far.
Hi, everyone. My name's Anna Jo. So excited to be here. I went to Yale. I was an econ and psychology double major. and I actually graduated in 2020, so 6 years ago. But I would describe college as fun.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Yee. I'm a student at Carnegie Mellon University studying finance and engineering. And my college experience so far has been exciting.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Dye.
Speakers on? Okay. That's all.
Hello.
Yeah, this is on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Dye. I go to the University of Notre Dame, studying finance, and my college experience so far has been intensive.
Hello, my name is Selena. I'm currently studying New York University as a rising sophomore, and my intended major is nutrition. One word to describe my college life, I would say it's exploring.
Hi, my name is Vincent Hill. I go to UMass Amherst. I'm a finance major. And one word to describe college, I'd say it's pretty cool.
All right, thank you guys. Now that we've gotten to know everyone a little better, let's talk about what college is really like. Before you started college, what did you imagine college life would be like? And after actually experiencing it, what surprised you the most?
We all get us started. I guess before college, in high school, I thought it would just be a lot of socializing, like not as intense on academics, because everyone talks about grinding in high school, and then you're just in college having fun. And I would say some of that is definitely true. But I do think it's a time where you can really explore like what you're interested in career-wise. And I found myself really loving the econ classes I took. I actually went into college thinking I was going to be a sociology major or maybe only psychology. And I actually realized, I actually do love numbers. I loved following the markets. I love telling stories. And so that really did lead me down a path of finance, which is where I'm working today, in Boston. And so I thought it was really rewarding actually to think about what I'd like to learn about, and take school a little seriously too.
For me, my high school experience, I think was a little different. I didn't really put as much effort as I thought I would or should have. And I really went to college thinking like, okay, it's time for me to really like focus up, really try my hardest. And I think I've done that, but what I didn't expect is the amount of like different experiences, the different way college is than high school. Obviously your schools are so much bigger, but talking and interacting with new people teaches you countless things that you never learn, not like inside a classroom as well. So I'd say, especially like networking or other like various skills. So I'd say like keep open mind. Don't just put yourself down one track.
Yeah, so my expectations of college was that when I was in high school, I had like all these other fencing friends of mine, and they were in college, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like college is a breeze, like you'll be fine, like just like all you have to do is like study." And I'm here to tell you that I feel like it's a lot more difficult than that. It's so when I got to college, I immediately thought like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be hanging out with my friends every day, and there's not gonna be much work and stuff like that. I'm gonna have so much freedom." But as my first year progressed, I felt that, oh man, like this isn't as easy as I thought. It felt like high school, but honestly a little bit harder. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed taking a lot of the classes, but just don't go in there expecting that college is going to be a breeze, unless you're really smart.
So for me, when I was in high school, I imagined college as like I don't need to like focus only on study, but I can also just enjoy life in general. However, I do feel like it is out of my expectation that I need to learn about more life skills and also about the things I'm studying. I'll have to start to consider like how they can help me in the future when I go to work?
I guess I agree with a lot that they all said. I'd also add that, when I first like thought about going to college, it was like the idea of being like independent, kind of. Living on your own or like having to schedule around, like if you make your own schedule, you're not really, having to, just attend class like you do in high school, like you have set dates and times. But when you finally get here, you get to like really decide like what do you want to do.
Sounds like college is like a really challenging and intensive thing. So, what was the biggest adjustment that you guys had to make during the first year? Could be academics, making friends, or living away from home, or even something else.
I feel like the biggest adjustment for me was just getting used to not having a really strict schedule. Because in high school, it was, go to school from, I think it was like 7:45 to 3 or something, then do sports, then do music and eat with my family or do chores. And it was very structured and rigorous. Whereas I think in college, you might have a day where you don't have classes, or you might have a day where you only have 1 to 2 hours of classes. And so there's a lot of free time where you can really be structured with your interests, but it also comes with challenges where it's like it's easy just to goof off with friends or like not get as much work done that you need to, and then have to cram a lot for deadlines. And so I think for me, it took a little while freshman year just to get used to that time.
Question. I would say maybe the biggest adjustment for me was like, I guess like trying to meet new people. In high school is like pretty finite. We only have like 400. My high school graduating class was like 400 people. So I was in there for K-12, so I was like 13 years. I knew everyone in my grade. Going to college, maybe some people go to smaller schools, but my school, even though it is on the smaller end, 7,000 undergrad, it's only like 1,000 people per 1,500 people per class. Even then, it feels really big. I see a bunch of people. I'm like, wow, like he's in my class, he's in my major. I've never met that person in my life. It's crazy. And like, so like meeting new people and going out of your way to like talk to as many people as possible. And like seeing new things, experiencing new things. And yeah, I mean, I always say like you meet someone and they don't like you, it's great. You never have to see them again in college because it's so big, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple things. First off, Notre Dame, I just want to give you guys some background. Notre Dame is a really good college. So you're basically in the middle of nowhere. And coming from that type of background, the suburbs in Pennsylvania, I thought that, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Like I'm used to this, but when I tell you there's really nothing to do there, yeah, there's really nothing to do. And I think the most fun things that I've done were probably just being able to hang with my friends. Second thing, I think also what Anna said about the schedule, like some days like you'll have like one class, the other days maybe you'll have like 4 or 5 on schedule. And I feel like also as a student athlete, like it might be a little bit harder since you have to kind of create your schedule based on your training time. But yeah, and third thing was the fact that you're probably gonna have some trouble making friends at first. I feel like even though I'm like in the dorm with like a bunch of cool guys, like really chill with everyone, and that they're probably the guys that I hang around most. I feel that I still haven't really found like my perfect friend group, and yeah.
Yeah, so I agree that one of the adjustments that I also need to make is also making friends. And back in high school, I was living in a closed campus, which means like there is like a community and all the students are within the campus, so it's easy to meet everyone. However, in university, especially in my university, NYU, it's like we don't really have a campus. We're just living in the city. and we will be everywhere. It's hard to meet like my friends, like if I make friends with them in my class. After class, they'll just go to like anywhere I can imagine. So I kind of spend a lot of time just finding groups that are more fixed and people that I can meet more regularly.
I'd say for me would be kind of like scheduling. And I mean this from a way like the work-life balance. Kind of where, you know, you want to be up early for classes, but you also want to be out late, you know, hanging out with your friends, doing whatever. So like really finding, you know, a schedule that works for you as well as like being able to also kind of schedule for whatever it is like that you want to do.
Cool. For me myself, the biggest adjustment was actually deciding to choose economics as my major. So I was wondering if, like, how did you guys decide on your major, even double major? Have you ever changed your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I chose like psychology as one of my majors pretty early because I was always interested in people and making friends and just how like humans interact and like process different information in their surroundings. And so that was pretty easy for me. And I've always taken a lot of psych classes in college. And then for econ, you know, I really do think there was a push to be like, okay, make sure you have a major that is like quote unquote employable. And I do think like that maybe pushed me to econ to take some of the initial classes, but then I actually found that the more classes I took, I was like, wow, I'm actually pretty interested in microeconomics. Maybe I didn't like macroeconomics as much, but I like, stuck with the major. And that definitely paid off because the more advanced classes I found I really enjoyed, they were smaller, like they were more specific to finance and the markets, which I loved. And so yeah, I guess my advice would be maybe sometimes stick with things. It might not be like the entire field that you don't like, it might just be the class that you don't like.
I recently switched. I was going to do, well, I've always been finance. But finance is my main major. That's always been like the thing. I knew I was going to do that ever since high school, but I just decided to switch to a minor in mechanical engineering. I was originally doing an additional major in statistics and machine learning. And then I realized, I don't know, I talked to a lot of people, a lot of like really good people, and they told me their own experience. A lot of them are mechanical engineers, and they told me, and they were in finance too, and they told me the benefits, and it really changed my mind. And also, yeah, like things just happened. We decided to switch. I know a lot of my best friends are still doing their majors. I'm not trying to convince them to switch to mechanical engineering. But yeah, like things switch for different people. So I guess like never really said stick yourself with something until you're like, really sure. But like always keep yourself open. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, my major was finance, and I think growing up, I was just really interested in like how the numbers moved in a business. I guess you could argue that it's also like as a like accounting aspect, but I think it goes for both. And growing up, I also like really enjoyed. I had a business, gaming account business, which is a little bit complicated to explain, but yeah. So I've always dabbled in like finance, like entrepreneurship side of things, and I just want to like give you guys a piece of advice, like even if you like go into college thinking like you're gonna really love a certain major, like, and you end up like deciding that you don't really like it that much. Just don't be afraid to like explore and try new things, and eventually you're gonna find something that you really want to stick with. And even though that may take time, like in the end, you're gonna thank yourself for that. So
For me, I actually haven't like fully decided my major yet, but I do like we went a long way to like finally like reach this major and learn about it. And so it's like back in high school I was interested in the biochem route, and by far I think most of my majors are still sort of related to this part, but not as the same as what I learned back. So first I choose biological anthropology, which is also sociology related things. But it's like after I actually have the classes in my college, I think I'm not that suitable and I can't really learn them that well. And also it's during this time when I first get in touch with the nutrition classes, and by far I still really like them. So that's my kind of like my development. So in my opinion, also I agree with the other counselors that this is not like a fixed route. You can just always change, especially during the first 2 years or whatever limits before you finally decide your major. You can just explore all the things.
So when I was in high school, I really focused on like doing well in class, getting good grades, and then applying to a lot of schools. And, during that process, I was undecided on like what I wanted to do. So I applied to a lot of schools, not really knowing what I wanted to major. And so when I got into UMass Amherst, I was undecided under business. And I actually toured the school like for a welcome day. And through that tour, I had decided like, meeting some professors, hearing about the programs, like to decide, basically UMass is a program called OIM or a major called OIM, which is Operations Info Management. And, I did switch out of that major. So maybe I didn't like the program that much, but that was because I joined like a student club and I found out that, I really enjoyed finance a lot more. And I thought about like, what would I rather do for the rest of my life, I guess. So
Sounds like choosing major is actually a long way to go. Let's talk about like something easy. What's your favorite part about college life? Outside campus, could be clubs, sports, or even just like hanging out with your friends. Like Jonathan, I saw you wearing a t-shirt of a fencing team.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the fencing team at Notre Dame. You guys haven't figured it out yet. But yeah, I try to spend as much time as I can, like outside of my studies with like my friends, because, like these guys like and gals are gonna be like super important, like they're gonna be lifelong friends for you down the line, and like whenever you need help or like you need something, they're always great to like call on, and obviously it's just always fun to hang out with them. And I think the things that we usually do outside of campus, like there's a golf course like right near our campus, so me and my friends usually try to go and do that. But I'm not the greatest at golf, so. And me and my dorm mates, we have a senior house off campus, which we usually go to during the weekends and just watch sports and just talk about, how our studies are going, how life's going, any events, and yeah.
Sure, I'll chime in. That sounds great, John. Does. I'm in a fraternity, and all fraternities get a lot of bad rap, but at my school, it's pretty chill. And I love being because I get to know a lot of people and meet a lot of people that were from different majors that I would never originally meet, and we get to do a lot of fun things, and it's great. But yeah, like having your friends are there for life. At college, I honestly think that I'm also like way closer to my college friends than I am my high school friends. I have a friend from college who's really staying at my house right now, because of the internship, like 10 minutes away. So I just offered to let him stay there. And we've been spending a lot of time together, just hanging out the whole summer. It's been great. But yeah, like your friends in college, honestly, are your friends for life, like the one that you find the closest ones. And yeah.
All right, so my favorite part about my college life so far is the club events. So I've joined like at least like 3 to 4 clubs by far, and they have so many activities. And it's like I'll like just join hop into any activities if my schedule is available. So like the thing is, I found out it's a perfect way to know about others and like meet a certain group of people like regularly, especially in a college like NYU, where like students will go everywhere. And also like during this process I'll also utilize many of the fun things in the city. Like for example, I visited a lot of museums during those field trips and activities, and also went to a lot of good restaurants and eat a lot of very good food. So that's my favorite part, besides all the studies and stuff.
I guess for this question, I would say that a lot of my college life is on the campus just because there's so much to do. I know that's kind of like not really answering the question, but like, campus really has a lot for you while you're there. But it also shows that, I guess the thing is I'm trying to say is, you should really try to explore like where you are. Like, I know I go to UMass Amherst, but if I had went to like a Boston school or anything like that, I'd probably want to like go to different sporting events, like look at what's nearby from when you're visiting campus because, you know, if you ever get bored on campus, your next option is like what's nearby. So like having different options from like, sport venues or like maybe concerts, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would also echo what everyone's saying in terms of like the people. I feel like my friendships in college were so strong and like that was like so much fun, like living with my friends, like, you eat so many meals with your friends. That's also different from high school, which is super fun. I was also on the fencing team at Yale and it was just like, it was crazy to be on the strip with your teammates off the strip and at tournaments, and you really feel like, a family in terms of like going through those really tough times, training hard. And so that was super meaningful, my experience.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. If there's gonna be one word to describe my college life, it would be colorful. My college was in Seattle. I just graduated from Washington, and there's a lot of great restaurants. I can hang out with my friends, and I was trying to get into my school hockey field, but I failed though. Yeah, I was also a head of public relation officer in a student organization. Yeah, but like, besides these activities, I feel like managing time is also essential in college life. So, do you guys have any tips for time management or what's like one mistake you've made?
I think that's something that's helped me is setting like a lot of alarms. And I don't mean just like alarms to wake up in the morning, but like at night as well, or like reminders to do certain things at certain times. Um, I guess a mistake I made from that is like by not setting an alarm. So especially like if I was out late the night before and then not making it to class the next morning. And the importance of like making it on time to class every day is that as soon as you miss one, it's kind of addicting to like want to sleep in and want to do that over and over. Because like, a lot of these professors or like the classes in general, they're not taking attendance. And it's really on you if you want to go to class and it's gonna reflect like, you know, how much you really learn if you're not going to class or like there's gonna be definitely a difference if you're attending and paying attention than if you want to sleep in for that day. So I'd say just go to class.
I do agree with Vincent. So my tip is also similar, which is to not only just like setting alarms for like specific times, but also just set up like reminders for your future plans and events. Especially like during college, you'll find you'll have like a lot of like deadlines or like reminders of dates. Not only just in studying, but also in your events or just anything like life related. Like for example, some of my bank account things. So making reminders will really help to just not like to avoid from missing any. And one of the mistakes I've made, it's kind of about schedules. So it's about my sleeping schedule. So I do highly recommend you students you still keep a regular schedule during college. Even if like you don't have classes during a certain day or something, you shouldn't just let yourself wake up late. That will mess up with your internal clock.
Yeah, I completely agree with what the other two said. I think that first of all, like, yeah, missing class is definitely really addicting, and it just becomes like a snowball kind of problem, and that these classes also really like move really fast. So if you miss one class, you're gonna miss a lot of content, which you're gonna have to cover up by yourself, or you have to go to office hours. And so I try to go to as many classes as I could, unless like it was really necessary for me to miss a class. And I know a lot of you guys, like myself included, like to procrastinate homework in high school, and I'm going to tell you right now that that's not going to slide in college. They usually assign a lot more work, and the work is a lot more like, I guess, analyzation heavy, if that's how you want to put it, and it's yeah. So don't procrastinate things.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything. I think that one of the most important things I did was have a Google Calendar. I think that like if you don't have a Google Calendar, I don't know how you're checking like what class you go to. I have a Google Calendar. I still happen to miss my classes very frequently. So, but yeah, having a Google Calendar and everything planned out is really, really beneficial. One of the things I wish I could have done too is like, I guess like keeping like a task list, like something you just can't put in a Google Calendar. Like, let's say like I want to apply for this internship or like apply for these things, like having a task was really important because that, like someone said before, the deadlines come quick and there's no like, oh, like I meant to submit it yesterday, like you just don't get it. So yeah, like having those deadlines and be prepared like days before, weeks before is much very, very important.
Yeah, I feel like I felt a lot of the similar things that everybody else just mentioned. I think one thing that also helped me was like chunking the long-term projects into like smaller pieces, and then I would set deadlines for myself actually in like a Google Calendar or like a to-do list. And I found that like breaking it up into pieces was so much easier to digest because like everyone else said, it's not like high school where you have like those worksheets you do every day and you can't really, I mean, it's like hard to be like constantly late to those worksheets, whereas in college, like say you have no exam and then you have an exam in 2 months, it's a little bit hard to catch up.
Thank you. Very good strategies. Me myself had a lot of like bunch of alarms, like to do this or like Google Calendar for my meeting. I'm still using it right now, but like, especially when it comes to final week. Yeah, when things get pretty stressful, like, is there anything to like help you stay motivated? Is there like a person or resources to help?
Yeah, I feel like for me, like what really helped was having a regular schedule with working out. So I feel like scientifically, you have endorphins that are released when you're working out. So like that always was like where I turned for in terms of stress. And like you can do that socially too. You can like go on a run with your friends, or a lot of my friends like to do cycling at a studio nearby. So I feel like giving yourself some time for a study break really made it a little bit like lower stress.
For me, I think for me, for my friends, we're all like a lot of us are finance majors, and we keep pushing each other forward. If you surround yourself with the correct group of people, you gotta keep like there's like a saying or something, but if you're like with a bad group of people, you guys will pull each other down. With a good group of people, you guys keep pushing each other forward. My friends really motivate me. Whenever they do well in class or whenever they like land an internship, I'm like, damn, I need to do that too. Like really, I should really walk in now. But yeah, like I would say my friends, they also help me de-stress, like hang out with each other and stuff. So yeah, surrounding yourself with a really good group of people. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you guys have to kick people out or or not be friends with some people. But surrounding yourself with a group of people that you really trust that really pushes you forward is like really, really important.
Yeah, for me, I just say like get some air. Like if you're stuck on something, if you're having trouble with something, just going outside, going for walks, like maybe even during the day or even during the night, maybe just like 15, 20 minutes is definitely really helpful, at least for me. And I guess one thing that really motivates me is the fact that, like, I know it's hard now, but like I'm only here for 4 years, and I want to take in as much information as possible so that like when I like graduate and just go on to life, I'm gonna be prepared. And I'm gonna look back on this one day, like my college experience, and I'm gonna be like thankful, very thankful that I just put in the time and effort to excel.
Alright, so I do agree with Anna's view of like working out when during stressful times. It really helps with like dealing with my emotions, especially during like exam preparing sessions. And also I sometimes also ask my friends to like come and work out together. Or just maybe also do some like jogging or cycling in the park. And another thing that helps me to stay motivated is to, I think it's like, I'm not sure if it's for me personally, but I'll sometimes also contact my family, like my parents, and maybe like chat with them, talk about some of the difficulties I met in life. It's like sometimes, just find a person to talk out all the things and you'll get better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with a lot they said. Like, I think for me, what helps me stay motivated is like setting a goal for myself. So like, whether that be, working out or, I guess, scheduling assignments. I think that, if you, as long as you have a goal in mind for the day, and you get that done, you can feel that, the day was pretty productive. Say you like miss class and you're stressed about that, go do something else. Go get your mind off of that, recuperate, get back to work right after because, you know, um, necessarily like all you can do is really like move forward and go on to like next day.
Right. Before we finish, I have one more question for you guys. So if you could give one piece of advice to your freshman self, what would it be?
Maybe I'll start because I'm the furthest away from freshman year. I might say what you said earlier, like be open and I feel like be open to, new experiences, new friendships, like, your strongest friendships might come from people you might not expect to get along with at first sight. And I think that's really beautiful. Be open to new jobs, new internships, like I think sophomore year I got an internship location where I I wanted to be in New York, I wanted to be in finance, just at all the other bulge bracket banks that all my friends were at. And I actually got an internship at Boston and I'm still at that company like 8 years later. So, be like, I would just say like, don't discount things that might not completely fit what you think you want, because maybe your personality will change, maybe your interests will change. And I think it's really nice just to be along for the ride.
I would say, the most important thing, or like thing I wish I could have done is to tell myself to get to know upperclassmen. Upperclassmen are so useful because they basically have that like level experience. They did what you did. Like what we're telling you right now, they did what you did, what you guys are going to do, but like 6 or 8 months before you guys, so they know everything. They know what classes to take, they know what professors to avoid, they know what dorm hall to go to, or what food stops the best. Like knowing upperclassmen in your college is so important. They also know like what internships to apply to from your college or what resources. So yeah, I wish I got to tell myself to know upperclassmen more because they can help you in so many ways that like honestly everything. But yeah.
Yeah, my advice to you all would be that you guys like should probably just spend less time on your screens. I feel like that was like a problem for me in high school. I mean, my freshman year, sorry. The fact that like I would spend a lot of time gaming and I really wish that I would have spent that time like going out and like socializing and connecting with people. Like Chris said, like, your upperclassmen, because you're never gonna know like what they're able to do for you in the future. Like maybe they'll be able to recommend you for an internship, or maybe they're gonna help mentor you throughout your college experience. And I just think that's super important.
All right, so one advice I will give is also similar. So I would advise myself to go outside more, just in general, like either just to like involving activities or hang out with friends, or just maybe like take a walk in the park. So it's also because I'm really like just used to sitting in classrooms or sitting in front of my table, like doing works. And that habit, like, I still have that habit, like, during my freshman year. And sometimes, like, when I'm staying indoors for days, especially, like, during, like, winter, like, colder times, it really felt like, it really doesn't feel that good. And as long as, like, I go out, I will feel, like, way better and, like, more motivated when I come back. So this is one of my advice.
So, if I could, give any advice to my freshman self, I'd probably tell me to throw all my money on the Dodgers winning the World Series back to back. And what I mean by that is, take risks while you're young. And maybe not to the extreme of that, but more so that, everyone's gonna want to help you out when you're young. So networking is super important, especially to like alumni, anyone who works in a position that you want to get to, because, your first few years in college, like getting those connections is super important. And it might sound like silly now, but like, really do things when you're young. Really enjoy it. So
All right, thank you to all of our amazing guest speakers for sharing your stories. And also thank you everyone in the audience for joining us. And do we have any questions in the audience for our guest speakers? Yeah, please raise your hand.
So we need at least 3 to 4 questions, okay? Anyone? So tonight, we're actually getting better on that, have our counselor to host. Next time, our panel will be student organized the host, right? Last time, so Chelsea hosts, before previous years, I host. So I think our next generation is better and better. So can you, I'll be very happy to see people ask a good question, ask a real question, because nobody gonna laugh at you, because you might be in your life. I actually just get a call, half an hour ago. Did anyone last year come? Bacon, he want to apply to West Point. He was here last year. He was actually become the camp hero because he carried 50 bags of cement on the roof to repel the roof. And he just told me, he called me out, I almost don't know which number. And he said, hey, this is Adrian. I just want to let you know, last year, the summer camp at the Springfield, it's one of the best life experiences in his life. He asked me to write a recommendation letter for his college application. Again, I'm very happy to offer you experience, and please ask the right question, ask good question. Anyone, please? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Yifan, yeah. So we should have 2 speakers, 1 on this side. Yeah. Stand up and say your name and which grade.
Hello, sophomore. My question is, do you have like any regrets that you wish you did that you still have that you didn't do like when you were younger?
Very good question. Do you have any regret?
I wish I tried harder in high school. Yeah, I think that once you get to college, everyone when you get in, like it's kind of like a blank state. Like you get a blank slate. I mean, like when you get in, all the people around you, like you guys are all starting from scratch. So like trying really hard in high school to get to the best college I can is like something that I would really stress on. I always regret like I could have gone a better GPA, I could have went to a better school. Because you're in college, you're also like, especially when you go to finance, stuff like that, like the school you go to really defines like how hard or how much work you have to put in to get to the same place as other people. But yeah, like college really does matter. And nowadays, it's getting more competitive, get these higher, better colleges. I would just say like, even though your parents are like, keep nagging you guys, like, oh, study, sometimes it is important. And like, honestly, like, once you guys really get to that school you want, like, you'll feel like you like all the effort you put in and everything you put in is really worth it.
Okay. Whoever wants, what's your regret? One, yeah.
For me, it's kind of like the opposite. The thing that I regret is not to spend more time just enjoying my life and do the things that I'm interested in during high school.
So you regret that you didn't spend enough time for fun.
Yeah, but I think the point is just you need to find a balance. Like you shouldn't just be like putting all your time during high school in study and only focus on that. But like you should also just not like spend all the time playing and don't mind about this. The point is just find a balance.
Okay, great. What are the questions? More question. This is a very good question, Ethan. You challenge them. I want you to challenge them, okay? Ask them questions that they can't answer. And then also make sure that your answer is 1 minute answer, okay? So yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Alan. I'm a rising senior in high school. My question is, how do you balance like saving money and like going out and having fun with friends?
I was bad.
That is a really good question. I feel like one way that could help with the balance actually is probably getting a job on campus. I applied to be a tour guide a billion times because that was the highest paid job on campus and they never accepted me. So then I worked in like our late night food business on college, at the college campus, and I love that. Eventually like became the manager, you start training staff, like you're involved in like, making quesadillas and making eggs, and I thought that was actually really fun. And so I guess for me, like that always helped with income, but taking a step back, I think it is a balance. Like you do want to invest in like your friendships and have those meaningful experiences. And so I would always like err on the side of that. So like if you had some spending money, like you should be spending it with your friends.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. This is probably just limited to my school, but we have like these research opportunities where they can like our psychology department conducts experiments and we get paid $10, and I usually try to take advantage of that because it's just 20-minute survey. Obviously, this doesn't apply to all colleges, it's just time. And me and my dorm mates or like my fencing mates, we usually try to make a point to like eat at the cafeteria as much as we can so we can avoid spending money on food and stuff like that. Obviously the food choice, like the cafeteria, at Notre Dame isn't the greatest, but we're still getting our nutrients.
Okay, so tonight you're gonna answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I'd have to disagree with John just because UMass Amherst actually has #1 college dining, and it's basically like it's like a cruise ship when you go there because you just swipe in and it's like unlimited food as much as you want. I definitely recommend having friends who might like swipe you in if you don't buy the meal plan, or getting. I think a lot of people do this is like getting a friend who has like a car on campus. If it depends on like I guess like what you want to do. Also too, if you want to have like a balance of like having fun as well as maybe not spending a whole lot to go out every time. What he did was join a frat. So like it really depends on what you really want to do, and yeah.
Okay.
I actually have something to add on. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Alan, I feel like the point is not just like to save money. Like for me, I was like working part-time as like a boba barista in the boba store. And I feel like it was really fun. And in Washington State, like the minimum income is like 20 hours. So it's really high. So I was like, the point is like you don't have to like essentially like save your money, but you can have like, if you have spare time, like, part-time is also a good way to like use or like just hang out with your friends. But yeah.
Okay. So did everyone notice that tonight we have a 2 out of 5 speakers? They actually professional fencer. Right, Anna and Jonathan. So let's welcome. Thank you. We have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have about 7 fencer boarding here. Everyone to you. Yeah, we welcome you. Okay, Tony. Tony, you're very good with kids. Thank you. So I'd like you to challenge 2 of them, right? You are young. Why you are fencing here? What do you want to learn from Anna, Jonathan, and other people? Right? So can you ask some questions? Yeah. Ask questions. Yeah. Challenge them. Stand up and say your name and wait. Stand up. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. One day you're gonna be better than Mr. One and go on the Olympic gold, right? So you need to speak up. Stand up. Stand up. Yeah. Very good. Ask questions.
My name is Daniel. 14.
Ask questions. What question you have? You have the same questions.
How do you do good in high school?
How do you what? Ask it.
Do good in high school?
Oh, how do you do it? No. Ask something related to anything. Please don't help them. So you will not go out to this store if you can't answer your question. Thinking about the other brother and sister, right? They are standing on stage. What do you want to know? Maybe ask, do you spend all the time on fencing or do you find time to have a fun? Answer the question, right? Okay. Other students, prepare 1 or 2 more questions, okay? Okay, you can do that.
How do you balance fencing with schoolwork?
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, Anna and then Jonathan.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I used to live in Pennsylvania and there were no fencing clubs, where I live. So I would commute to Jersey and that was like an hour and a half each way. And I do that about 4 to 5 times a week when I was younger. And I think what definitely helped me the most was studying in the car and doing your homework in the car. I know it's hard, like I get car sick, like just reading, but I think it's definitely something that you need to learn how to do, especially with what we talked about, time management. And yeah, so.
Yeah, I feel like fencing it's a lot of time like on campus because you start early in August and it's like basically like a year-round sport. So you're still like practicing with your teammates probably until February to March. It's a lot of time. And so I feel like for me, like balancing that was like learning how to say no to some things that maybe like, I want to prioritize sleep, like I want to eat well, I want to hang out with friends. Like maybe there are some things that you might have to say no to or like, like not go out all the time if you have a fencing tournament or like be able to maybe study with your friend or study with your teammates because that also is like, building teammate camaraderie and morale, but also like getting your work done. So trying to squeeze in time.
By the way, Anna made to US top 30 in college fencer. And at the same time, he graduated from Ivy League and now he's working for one of the most prestigious finance and asset management company. So if some of you wanted to looking for a job and you want to make friends with Anna, maybe you can get her to refer you to attention. Okay, I need a girls ask questions. So, okay, good. Oh, good question. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Jojo. I'm a vice educator, and one of my questions was, what was your least favorite part of being on campus and like in college?
Cold, really cold where I'm from, Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean, like the environment, I mean, I don't know about other people, but I would really wanted to go somewhere like a little far, like, try new things, experience new things. A lot of people from New York go to California, and California go to New York. The weather change, so I guess like adapting to the environment, I buy a lot of coats. But yeah.
I guess for me, low key would be like how busy the campus can get. Having to wait in line at the dining hall or like having to wait for a machine in the gym. Like, I mean, to me that I find that, sometimes you have to deal with it. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm 14 years. Hi, my name is Ellie. I'm 14. If you could re-choose a major, to do, like not the one that you have now, or like not the whatever that you're doing now, what would it be?
If you need a reach, if you wanna reselect your major, what you would do?
I feel like if I had to re-choose, maybe like CS and stats, because I feel like, especially with AI going on, like, there is vibe coding, but I do find that a lot of my software engineer friends are like just reshaping how they're working. It's not like they're totally getting displaced, but I do feel like having those hard technical skills makes you more employable, and like probably you can, use that analytical mindset and get other jobs or like find different passions. But I feel like having those like hard coding skills, maybe I would have to do that instead if I had to.
If I had to, change my major, I probably would have done like architecture, just because I see myself as like somewhat creative, and I think like I could impact that space. Because like when you're applying to schools, not always are like all colleges gonna have like all kinds of majors, and even some majors when you're applying, like they're gonna have certain requirements to get into those kind of fields. So like architecture, for example, I don't think UMass they might, but like when you apply to do it, it's required that you have like a portfolio coming out of high school. So like don't spend if you want to think about like doing certain fields, like look at like what are other students doing to like prepare themselves, because you might find out like while applying that it may be somewhat too late depending on the majors.
I can be the last one. I'm already doing a minor in engineering, but I would do a major in engineering. I always like building stuff, and that's kind of maybe like one of the reasons why I'm getting a minor in it. But if I had to switch, or maybe like being like a teacher, so I like talking to kids.
Okay, we do have a question. Leo, stand up. Chicago, Leo, yeah.
Yeah, hi, but, what qualities stand out in recruits besides rankings and results?
Say like that.
What qualities stand out in recruits besides ranking and results?
Talking about the college or?
Yeah.
Okay. Besides the ranking and the grades, what's the quality stand out? Why you apply college, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I would say like it really depends on your major. There's some schools that are ranked low and like they're really good for some specific majors. So I would like a lot of, I mean, I know a lot of Asian people do this. They just look at the US News ranking and say, well, top 20 school. Okay. But like, yeah, there's a lot of schools like ranked in the 30s, 50s that are really, really good at like engineering, computer science, pre-med. So I wouldn't like, it really depends on your major. And there's also schools that people apply to like that want to maybe even go to like finance or like engineering, and they go apply to the best school and go to the best school they can. And they realize, okay, well, this school doesn't have an engineering school. What am I going to do? So I would really, really depend your school on your major, like really look into what you might think about doing in the future, and like judge that based on your school, because that matters a lot.
Another thing that I think is really important, like besides ranking, is the school's location. Especially like many of the schools, they're located in specific areas, for example, like near like the base of like some of the large companies, or just like near those places where some of the industries are developing. So it is also just linked to the things that you're interested in studying. And another thing about location is the people who live in nearby. So one of the reasons I choose NYU is also because Newark is really near, the place where my aunts, my families, they're literally, so like, it is really convenient for me.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of say location as well, but other than that, I would say. hmm, I lost it. What was I saying? Oh, I would say like the programs, basically like, depending on the school you go to, they might offer, different connections, that kind of thing, because I know like Northeastern, for example, they do a really cool like co-op, so you're basically like guaranteed an internship, for like whatever you go into. So like many different schools like are gonna offer, different kind of like incentives, I would say, or like, kind of like, uh, development for you depending on like what you want to go into. So like if they're like offering like a 4+1 or like anything like that, or like, some schools even offer like you can like Penn State offers like different campuses, so you can really there's also like study abroad. So
Okay, I think Ethan, last questions, and does anyone else have a question? And if I have last question, we can end tonight's session. And then everyone, you back to robotics, back to rest, and then also night in the dorm, boys, okay? If you want to have fun inside this building, when you go back to dorm, make sure you're quiet because we have a fencing wake up early morning. Okay, last question, Ethan.
Where do you get most of your confidence to stand today? Where do you get most of your confidence from?
Okay, where did you get your most confidence from? Why you are confident? Good. It's very important for everyone to feel confident so that you can doing things independently and you keep going and resilient. So I think this is a very good question. How to the reason that I'm getting all those scam and everything is trying to help you discover and build your confidence. So I'm gonna give this question, last question to each one of you, and you just be concise, okay? Starting with Anna.
I think we should start down there and then.
Yeah, I think should say that. Yeah.
Uh,
Where did you get your confidence from? Of course, recently, okay? Your concise.
My confidence, like, I would say that, probably my personality, because like, I'm like, so I'm like not like forcing myself to be the best, so, like, but that's like, I guess how you, like, to some extent, if you're like, maybe like your academics or like, career, it's like, have like a good, like, positive and optimistic mindset would be like really important to keep, to be confident in like every situation.
So this is a very good answer that you must, the confidence doesn't come from faith. You must have a good grade or good something that makes you feel good. Like he does have always good in the study, so you can feel confident from. Okay, Anna.
Yeah, I feel like confidence comes from like knowing yourself and being authentic to your character. And I do feel like that takes time, like figuring out what you actually care about, like what your values are, and that might be influenced by your family upbringing, like what you genuinely are passionate about. And I feel like it's taken me a lot of time just to understand, like you can't also like be friends with everybody or please everybody. Like there's always going to be somebody in the crowd who disagrees with you or doesn't believe you, and that's okay. Like everybody is different, and I think just embracing that, everybody's unique.
So the confidence coming from knowing yourself well. You don't have to be perfect to confidence. As long as you know who you are, what you want to do, and you can feel confident, okay?
I would say for me, or like that kind of add on, I think confidence stems from failure. I think that for you to be confident in yourself, you can't be afraid to fail. I failed countless times. To be honest, Dwayne, like I messed up a lot of times, made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I know that I can keep coming back. I'm optimistic about like, there's no point of just like keeping yourself down. So I would say like, don't be afraid to fail. Always have backups. You always have backup, and know that no matter what, really go.
Thank you, that's a good answer. Failure, don't afraid of failure. Okay, failure, basically use the way to sit next to the alumni. People at you. Christopher will go to you. Okay, Johnson.
Yeah, I'd say, my confidence comes from like not discrediting my achievements. I feel like there's a lot of things that I could have done better, like similar to what Chris said, but I think that also like you also have to take everything like with a positive outlook because there's so many other kids that wish for the same opportunity as all of us, and that I think my confidence just comes from that stuff.
I can't tell what it's that. Your confidence is coming from your
Like
achievement.
just be like proud of your achievements.
From the achievement, even though it's king, right? Okay, so yes, so he's a great fencer, so you have to feel proud of what you do. You must be good at it, and you must be working hard for that, right? Thank you.
So, for me, my confidence stems from my interest and just the things that I care about in general. I will spend a lot of time on these specific things. And also, another tip is I'll focus on what I've achieved instead of the things, that I haven't achieved yet. So that I know like, look, I've done so many things. I feel proud of myself.
Yeah, same thing that you keep doing and proud of yourself, and then you can gain your confidence. Okay, makes sense.
I guess I'd have to agree with a lot that they said. But I'd also, I guess, want to say like, you know, don't try to really like compare yourselves to other people. I guess like, look at how far you came like in life. Like, I mean, just be proud of what you've accomplished, right? And then also too is like realize that the playing fields are kind of even. Like, you could have been like a outstanding student or like a terrible student in high school, but then you got to college, right? And there's people that come from all different backgrounds, all different areas, right? And you guys are, guys are, all given an opportunity when you get to college. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so thank you for that. I'm actually use chat to recording this question of previous and summarize pretty good. So thank you everyone, and I think you learned a lot. And let's give a big clap for thank you for your time, and you guys did better. Like we were, a lot of people are getting to become more natural to the question to do this more. And also, I want to nominate Yvonne as the best question asked tonight, and please come to office to get $20. So for people that pay attention, have a critical thinking, you ask the right question and very meaningful question. I like the question asked, right? Question, what to regret? Second question, where your confidence come from? These are the two best questions, I think, and critical thinking and challenge. $20, and I will give you a one. So I ask everything that on the front page, okay? Back to the page. You can always have some surprise from today and anytime. Okay, dismiss. Thank you very much. Make sure that we get all our microphone. Like we haven't done anything. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Food for tomorrow night. All the and tomorrow night show. All the little kids and dancing, or maybe we can do a fencing performance. Why don't we do a fencing performance? Maybe you can, right? Okay. Hey, get away, take the photo. You guys always remember to go out. 3 fields and moonlight. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, looking all up. Stand next to the.
Telling me to do it. No, like.
I'm not so proud of you guys. Yeah, yeah. Excellent. My friend, all of you. It's by learn from Anna. Anna's country is very famous. Oh. That's getting our. Oh, yeah, reversal, yeah. Tell them. So I need to stop this, meeting.
So funny. Half of yours is amazing. I do that.
Yeah. Building a new
Yeah, dude, oh my God. Yeah.